come home and So, one of the great hardships about working in a bakery is you end up with dogs that yap at you. And I'm just here, Baba. So you stretch. You end up occasionally taking some stuff home that's left at the end of the day. I know, right? Horror. It is the worst part of the job. It's horrible. But I wondered if I put you in the cupboard. You must put it in the cupboard. I wondered if any of you had ever heard of a London cheesecake. Now, to me, they're normal. I grew up with them, but a lot of people, like a lot of our staff members, don't know what it is. A lot of our customers don't know what it is. Like, they've never heard of a London cheesecake. But they're quite an old-fashioned thing. They're delicious, and if it tends to be, people will walk in, if they know them, they go, oh my god, I haven't seen one of them in years, and they buy them because they love them. This is a London cheesecake, so called because the desiccated coconut, or the shredded coconut I should say, on the top looks like grated cheese. No one really knows where it came from, and in London, according to my mum, when my mum worked in London in the 80s, they were just called cheesecakes. They weren't called London cheesecakes, and it was it's something kind of a modern thing, I suppose, to just explain the differences, I suppose, between a New York cheesecake, a baked cheesecake, and a London cheesecake. But it's a sheet of puff pastry with jam of your favourite flavour. Ours is raspberry. And then you've got frangipane. Playing with his favourite Matt, which incidentally he's weed on multiple times. So you do have to keep an eye on him. So yes, puff pastry, frangipane, jam. If my mum doesn't like frangipane, and when the bakery she used to get them from when she worked in London, only ever did jam and baker's oven, which was, if you live in a town that's got multiple Greggs, one of those Greggs most likely used to be a baker's oven, and they were superior to Greggs, so much better. They used to use just jam, but a lot of places I think kind of do frangipane. I don't know if that is the correct way of doing it or not, but I grew up with them just with jam in. My mum doesn't like frangipane, she hates anything almond. She likes almonds, but anything that's almond flavour, I think when the oils are released, she doesn't like it. I don't know why, I can't remember what she has explained. But once you've had it with frangipane, delish. And when it's Mother's Day, or it's my mum's birthday, or if I'm just so happen to be working on a day that after work I'll be going to my mum's, I will ask them to do me one that is frangipane free, because I'm a good daughter. But yeah, that is. Oh, and then you put another sheet of puff pastry, fondant, and then the coconut on top. Sure. And they're normally as big as your face. Honestly, it's the most delicious confectionery ever. Look, I have to stand and eat my food here now. I can't sit on a sofa with you, because you're a little what's it. So there you go. I just wondered if you'd ever heard of it. If you had heard of it, drop a comment, because it's kind of weird, but it's really yummy. So yeah, puff pastry, jam, frangipane. He's just gone upstairs. More pastry, fondant, and shredded coconut. So good. I'm currently editing, and this is Frank. I need to go and be a good friend today. Somebody needs the emotional support fur nephew. And I need to walk him. So double whammy. Oh. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is my life. It's a great life, really. Can't really see it. He's a long boy. Hello. I look a complete state. Oh, Jesus. So, where do I even start? Yesterday, a friend had a work unhappiness and requested that I bring the pooch over for distraction purposes. He made an excellent distraction. He is very distracting. I'm just keeping an eye on my spicy harissa chorizo barley risotto from May 2012's issue of Good Food. What's up, puppy? So yeah, so I went and did that, walked there and back. Did 14,000 steps yesterday. At the moment, I'm on about 13,177. So I'm not far off now. And this morning on the radio, I found out that you only need to do 4,000 to be considered healthy. So I'm slightly upset by that. Story of my life. And then, so yesterday was meant to be trying to catch up on housework because I'm woefully behind because of noises in my life. And but I didn't, because I had to go see a friend, because no matter what, I will always, if a friend says they need me, I will always be there. Unfortunately, it's what I do. So I went and did what I needed to do there. So then today is catching up and catching up. I'm just woefully behind. I've got towels in the wash right now. I need to strip my bed. I need to wash the bedding. I also need to do just a normal load of washing. And then I also need to wash all his blankets and stuff. I'm meant to be having a week off next week, and I'm going to be spending it just sorting out blooming washing. Hoping for good weather so I can get the blooming stuff dry. I feel this might be quite tasty. I need to put my washing up away because also, so the plan was yesterday do upstairs, today do downstairs. Shut it. I've managed to do upstairs apart from stripping the bed. And downstairs wise, I've washed the fronts of all the cupboards, hoovered the kitchen, haven't hoovered the bedroom, and I am exhausted. I've sorted all the bins out. I've realised that I didn't put the garden waste bin out this morning, which is every 2 week one, and I missed the last one anyway, so that's now a month that's sat there and it's going to sit there for another 2 weeks. It's just infuriating. I just can't remember everything for everybody all of the time. Like, I just can't do it. You know. Right, you need a lid. So that's that sorted. That's good. So I've got that going on. Oh, I still need to put the bins actually out onto the road, onto the drive. I can do that in the morning, and I'm going to turn up before 4 o'clock, and I have to let him out for a wee at 4 o'clock in the morning, so we should be alright. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, so where are we? So that's everything I need to do. I'm absolutely exhausted. So run down. I'm getting into burnout again. And then what was I going to say? Yes, that was the other thing. So we've got this new person at work. They only started Monday. Today is Wednesday. And she said what many would think would be totally innocent, harmless comment, but unfortunately it is quite upsetting to me. But she doesn't know me. She's 23 years of age. She's young. She's naive. And I made it through work. I managed to kind of put it out of my thought process, and I walked away, and then I came back, and I didn't say what you just said was quite insensitive, but I kind of pointed out, I kind of gave the reason why it could be insensitive more than like actually saying, hey, that was quite insensitive what you just said. Where's your squeaky ball gone, bub? Oh, he is demanding attention. I will give it to him because he's adorable. This is Frankus, or Frankie Doodle. What have I been calling you? Bubba Boo? Bubba Bear. Bubba Bear, or Bobby Bear. Oh, I love Bobby smell. So, yeah, and I had a little cry on the way to the common when I was walking him, and crying whilst I was throwing his ball. And I think a few random dog walkers were a bit concerned for me because it's a bit of a weird thing to do, isn't it? Throwing your dog's ball and having a good old bawl your eyes out. It hit, I think what didn't help was I then started thinking about it, and then started thinking about other things, and then was convincing myself of just more negative things, and then bah. I think you're getting a bit steamy. Thanks, bub. I love you too. He's just got to learn to let me get on with things. So yeah, I had that. I'd just like some support, please, from someone. If you could just give me some support, I'd appreciate it. I know the last couple of weeks I felt like I was absolutely floundering at work because we were just left in the pub. And this week, although it's better, but I don't think I've recovered from last week. So I'm just a little bit kind of flat. I've still got an hour and a half to go. I need to get that on the air tonight. I need to get that half dry so tomorrow I can put it out, put another load on tomorrow, and then get that on the air, and then we'll just keep rotating. So I'd rather half dry it on the air, and then finish it off outside. Starting it off outside and finishing it off on the air. It's not too bad actually, but there's just so much washing to do. I just need to get it as dry as humanly possible. So an hour and a half of that. It's currently 9. I've worked out when my washing machine randomly goes from 2.5 hours to 3.5 hours, and potentially because it's towels. And I think the last time that happened, it doesn't happen very often, but I think the last time it happened when I washed a dressing gown with a blanket. So I'm guessing it must be if it's too heavy. Because I googled, like, why does that happen with this make? And it was like, it suggested, because towels are quite absorbent, they take on a lot of water, so it takes on more weight, and it makes it off balance, and then it will affect its spin, so it will kind of try to take it easy. Lucky thing, taking it easy. My washing machine takes it easy more than what I do. That's a horrible thought, isn't it? I've got some very clean washing up, like next to the spitting tomato juice. See, this stuff lives up there. I can't put it up there because when it goes into spin cycle, it will throw it off. Like, let's just put it up there for now. I just sort through that anyway. It's just, everywhere I go, every cupboard I open, I need to sort that cupboard out. I used to do this, I used to do that. Just stop opening things, Ames. Just stop opening them. Freaked out because the dog spat out something that looked like that from afar, like blood. Oh. I don't know. Right, I'm gonna love and leave you. I'll show you dinner when it's done. Reduce the heat to a simmer for 25 minutes, stirring occasionally, tip in the tomatoes and simmer for longer. Serve in the bowl. Oh, is that the I want to go outside look? Let's go from slippers to flip-flops.